God bless you. I hope you're having a great weekend and everything's going well for you. It's been a while since I've made a blog. Been super busy with school. I had finals in one class last week, and clinical started, and just a lot going on. But I finally found time, and I just want to say thank you for watching this, for watching my blogs. And some people ask about them, when you're going to get to make another blog, and that just means a lot. I hope I can say something that can encourage you and in your walk with God. I finally got my room, so I got my office to make the blogs in, which is a lot better than making them in my living room. But I'm excited about the office. I came home. My mom had talked to me about what I would like to decorate in, and I came home and she had that done. She had everything I wanted up, and with a few extras, and I appreciate her so much. I love my office. I'm super excited to be in here. Um, Today at the ladies' meeting, um, we talked about several things, but we talked mainly about a thought that I had for them. It's been on my mind for a long time, and I had talked to my cousin Eric about it this morning, um, about moments that define our life, moments that define who we are. And this morning, when Eric and I were talking, he mentioned he remembers when the trade towers fell. He remembers certain moments at school. He remembers certain times in his life of sadness, and of certain times he felt great, and greatness came. And in that conversation, I thought, a lot of times in our life there are moments every single day that are going to make us good or going to make us bad. We have choices every day. We're faced with challenges every single day. And a lot of times people think that the defining moment in your life is when you climb Mount Everest. Not necessarily so. Or a defining moment is when you become president of your company, or when you finally reach the peak of what you're trying to do. Or you know, basically we put it defining moments in the greatness category for some reason, when really defining moments in our life um, can be negatives. They can be positives, they can be negatives. And I ask each of the ladies to go around and tell me about a positive defining moment. And each of them had a different story. Um, Somebody said, somebody called me a name, and it really stuck with me my whole life. And when I was older, I got to prove that that's not who I am. A defining moment, a positive defining moment. And to me, it was the greatness of that moment that made it defining. But also, to me, the defining moment about them was when they were called that name, and somewhere deep within themselves they realize, no, I'm not what they're calling me. I'm not stupid. I'm not incapable. I can do that. So their defining moment to me was the moment that they realized that that's truly not who they are, and they took a stand to prove that, no, that's not who I am. To me, that's defining of them. And then, of course, when they went on to that college, or to whatever their destination was, and proved, that was a defining moment. But a lot of times we get caught in the rut that it only has to be great things that can define us. And that's not necessarily true. Every day we have the decision to either be rude to someone or to be kind. And, at the end of our life, people are going to say things of us. And I would hate to think that at the end of my life it would be, oh, she was rude to me. Yes, she was a missionary, but she was rude. Or, or when I get to the end of my life, they could say, she was just a kind person. She was so kind. She went out of her way. And what is going to make those people come to that decision about you is those little moments that you affected them. Um, People will forget what you've done to them. People will forget what you've said to them, but they will never forget, never, how you made them feel. Because that is your defining moment. That's what they don't forget how they felt when you said that. When you were rude to them and you left that scar, or that sore and that scar in their life, they're not going to forget that. Or when you were kind to them, on the other hand, they'll never forget how that day they were having a bad day, and you came and you just said, hey, you look nice today, or simply a hello or a smile They're not going to forget that because they felt that. And we have that power every day. We can we can choose to use it as a negative, or we can choose to use it as a positive. It is in our power to do either one of these things. And of course, always I want to be the person who's kind. I want to go out of my way for people and be helpful to not leave that mark or that scar in their life, because we all have a scar. We all have that moment of impact where something happened to us, and what is going to define us is not the situation at hand. It's not the situation that's happening right now. It's your response to the situation that really is going to define you or not. An example: when I lost Ivan, when Ivan passed away, you know, for about 3 months I struggled deeply. God, why did this happen? You know, we were at, we were really working in Mexico. Things were finally starting to break. We were finally starting to move forward, God, and why did this happen? And I had this big question mark in my life, and I began to become bitter, and I didn't really, with withdrawing from people. I was really becoming an island to myself, and but the defining moment was, I was sitting on a porch in Duran, Oklahoma, and I just told God, I don't know what to do anymore. And the scripture came to my mind, when you don't know what else to do, when you don't have any idea which direction to go, the Bible says just stand. And to me, that is a defining moment, because I didn't have any, I felt like I had no strength to move forward. I really didn't want to move backwards. I mean, I had nothing to go back to, because Ivan was gone. But I just stood. I stood in the truths that Mom and Dad taught me. I stood in the truth that I've read in the Bible. And I didn't backslide. I didn't fall out by the wayside. I just simply stood. And I did the things that I've done for all these years that I know to be truth. And I didn't backslide. I didn't back up. I just simply stood. And to me, that was a defining moment for me. It's one of the greatest defining moments I've had, or that I can think of right now. That I simply stood. I simply trusted God. And no, it's not easy, and no, it doesn't feel good, but it's a defining moment. And I can't tell you how many people have come and said that, because you can stand, I believe I can get through what I've been through. And then God develops this testimony that I'm able to give, that hey, I made it just because I stood, just because I trusted God and I knew that He was going to take care of everything in my life. And these are the defining moments. And one lady after the other this morning told me of situations. One had been through a divorce, and she said, I just didn't know what to do. It was not in my power anymore. And another one said, I'm fighting with this, and I don't really know what to do. And we was able to minister to her and help her through that, or you know, just let her know that there's help for that. Or another lady said, hey, I've fought with anger before, and I don't want to be defined as an angry person. Another lady, I don't want to be defined as a rebellious person. And a youth actually said that, and which was pure honesty. We all have our own battles. We all have something that we're going through, and that's out of our control. We can't help what people do to us. You know, things are going to be inconvenient. The car is going to break down. People are going to be mean to us. They're going to say mean things. We're going to be hurt along the way. Things are just going to happen. But it's our response to those things that define us, not the things that are happening. It's not the storm in our life, it's our response to it. Are we going to throw in the towel now and walk away from everything that we've done, from all the sacrifices we've already made this far? Are we just going to throw in the towel now and walk away? That's going to define us. Or are we just going to stand and wait for God to show direction? Just wait for God. Just ask God, in this moment in my life, God, if you could just hold me for a little bit and help me through this. God, I'm not going to change anything. I just need you to help me. And then eventually we can move forward. All these things are defining of us. And I hope that someday when my life comes to an end, that somebody will be able to say good things about me, and not that she was rebellious, and not that she fell out by the wayside, and not that she became bitter and never really got through that, but that she loved people, that she wanted to serve people and serve God with her whole heart. And these are things I want to define me. I don't want that hurt that happened in my life 8 years ago, or 10 years ago, or a month ago, or yesterday to change the definition of me in someone's eyes. I want them to be able to look at me and say, hey, you know what? She made it and I can make it. Because when I look at people in my life, you know, um, my mother and my father are constants in my life. They're so constant. They love God. They serve Him. They serve His people, and they do it so well. And I just think, God, if I could just be like that. Find someone in your life that is constant, and build yourself after them. If they're godly, make sure it's godly, because that's of course our goal. And try to frame yourself with that, and say, God, help me be that. Don't let me have a bad definition. Don't let a bad day define me completely in someone's eyes. Because the thing is, we see people every day, and you have basically one shot to, the first impression kind of thing. What if you never see that person again, and the only thing they heard was you on your cell phone just really mad at someone, or saying something super negative? That's all they have from you. That is your defining moment in their eyes. And I'm not saying it's never going to happen, and I'm not even going to say I've never done it. I'm just saying these are things we need to be conscious of, and that we need to ask God to help us with, and to not have a negative defining moment. Because at the end of your life, you're going to have, um, someone will have a definition of you. And just make sure the things that you're doing, regardless of your circumstance, regardless of what you're going through, that you're being a positive influence, that you are being that witness that God has called us to be. No, it's not easy. And yes, sometimes it's going to hurt, but in the end, it's worth it. Because you don't want somebody to say that she was bitter all her life, or you know he was just an angry man all his life, and that's their main definition of you. And so I pray every day that God helps me in these times, that even though I go through things, and everything, my life changes every day. Something is new every day, a new frustration, or a victory, or another negative, another positive. It changes constantly, but I ask God to help me maintain my a good attitude, and maintain a good definition of me in someone else's eyes. And so that's just my thought. I hope it helped you. I hope you can apply that somehow in your own life. And I pray God blesses you. I want to say thank you again for listening. And just pray for me, and leave a comment, and I'll know to pray for you. And I hope you have a great weekend once again. God bless you.